This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 558 for July 2nd, 2018. The smart one or the right one?
The brain versus the wallet.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
I don't think... Oh, no. A brand new episode of Early Access of Dynamic Soundtrack came out today. It is a random playlist episode, which is always my favorite. I just randomize my whole catalog and pick a whole bunch from the top, and it gets real weird. That is available for patrons at patreon.com/E1M on early access. Season 2, episode 3 is available today as well on the free feed. That's just a regular episode. So nothing crazy there. It does end with probably the indisputably best Destiny song of all time. So it's called The Last Array, and it's so good.
Is that Destiny 2 last mission? Last campaign mission?
No, that's Destiny 1. It's the one where you have to defend a whole... Shockingly, in Destiny, you have to defend stuff. But, like, that communications array is opening in the background, and it's massively huge. It's like halfway through the campaign.
Yeah, it's the Russian place.
Yep.
Okay,
It's
I know
really
the one.
good.
It's a good piece of music.
Go check that out, dynamicsoundtrack.com. All that out of the way, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Start with the quick hits. PUBG. I am still horrifically bad at that game. When I have somebody dead to rights, I should kill that person. That's the whole thing behind the phrase "dead to rights."
Right.
It's not you're gonna die because you're bad. It's dead to rights.
It's not a fair fight. It's I gotcha.
Yes, exactly. But like, it's like so good, like really so good, and it's especially good when you play with people who just don't care.
Yeah, they're not looking to get chicken dinner every time.
Yeah. We have a standing rule in our group, me, my wife, Kat, and Charlie, occasionally Alice as well. Our rule of thumb is if we start real quick and within the first, let's say there's still 50 people left, 3 of us are dead, the 4th person who's still alive, their job is to kamikaze.
Yep, that makes sense.
Go looking for heat just so they can get out quicker so we can all start the next round faster, because otherwise it can turn into 3 people watching one person play for 45 minutes straight.
Like crawling along the ground.
Exactly. So we implement the friendly kamikaze rule, which is just literally, okay, we don't want to wait around, we're all grown-ups, we all want to just play games, so let's just, it's very unlikely that one person is going to get a chicken dinner on a squad game, so 50 people left, let's just go. Yeah. Let's just roll the dice again. PUBG, still really, really good, and it feels like every time I load that thing up, they've improved it again and again and again.
Great.
Still not improved enough. Hashtag spoiler for news, I'm guessing, on that front.
Potentially?
Yes, because they're focusing their development resources elsewhere, shall we say.
Maybe. I feel like that's such a veiled hint that I'm like, yes, sure.
I can tell by the eye rolling it's making you nervous.
Mm-hmm.
PUBG, still good, still fun. Elite Dangerous, oh no, I'm back. It's Elite Dangerous. It's going to be in the show notes every single week because it's Elite Dangerous and it's the best game I've made. And I'm not kidding when I say I had a HOTAS in my shopping cart. I was one click away. One click.
Oh, Moon, this is getting dangerous.
You might say Elite Dangerous.
Hey!
No, I was one click away from just getting it delivered to me.
Just sitting in your Amazon cart and you're like, I could afford this. I also need like more monitors and a nice desk and maybe a better chair, and then
And then all of a sudden I've got...
a VR headset.
Yeah, if you've been in our Discord channel, you've seen some of the Elite Dangerous fans sharing Elite Dangerous rigs.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff is scary.
Those are intense.
Yeah.
That is a person who is just playing that game.
Yes.
Like, no shade. That's not me saying, like, play other stuff. It's just, like, you have dedicated your free time to this game and, like, the ultimate setup. I can respect that.
And I was so close, dude. Like, I was so close. Like, literally, I had my finger over the button saying place order. I literally had that, and then I closed the app and I moved away from it, and I didn't pick up the HOTAS set.
That's why I don't have one click turned on Amazon.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I had to put it in my cart, and then I had to go.
You have to make two choices
and click the place order button. And I stopped myself before I picked it up. But the more I talk about it with Nymph, and the more I think to myself how much easier it might be. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you first start playing with it, it's a calamity of errors.
Yeah. It's like flying a plane in Battlefield. Where it's like, this is going to go... Nope, I'm blowed up.
Yes, exactly. So... it's gonna happen at some point.
I can tell how much energy you're using to, like, restrain yourself. It's like, I have so many adult things I need to buy, but this HOTAS is so cool.
Well, literally, it's a case of I have to redo my budget for a multitude of reasons, and one of those reasons I'm looking at right now. Well, other than the fact that now I'm paying for medical insurance and all the other grown-up stuff,
right?
And electric bill is going to go through the roof because it's summer and it's 90-something degrees.
9,000 degrees.
And if you're watching the live stream, you can see the sweat dripping from my forehead.
See you melting slowly.
You know, these grown-up decisions, these get made. Like, do I want to buy another AC unit for the living room because this house is unbearably hot sometimes? When we literally when my wife and I have to start talking about, do you want to go bowling just to get out of the house?
Yeah. Like go to the movies rule where it's like, it'd be what's the longest movie we can go see?
Exactly. When we're doing that, it's like, okay, I need to redo my budget, see what I can wiggle room in, and one of those wiggle room items is a HOTAS set to see if I can get myself a HOTAS set. Really dangerous. Because when I'm sitting in a hot house, the only thing I need is a piece of wood over my legs with a HOTAS set on top of it. That's not going to make
20-pound HOTAS set.
But no, I mean, it's the game, man. It's got its draws back into me, and I'm be talking with Nymph about it. And I did the community goal. That all went great. I think I made I haven't logged back in today to check to pick up my rewards. I probably made like a good 10-15 million off that.
Wow.
And rather than make the jump straight to the Anaconda, which is going to be a problem to jump that high, I'm going to... I talked about it with him, and we discussed like different strategies. So I'm probably going to get a Python, which is a mid-range ship, and then jump to the Anaconda. And this is how stupid I am. I only realized... I was thinking to myself, I'm going to talk about these ships on the show. I should probably make some form of snake joke. And then I realized that 99% of the ships in the game are called snake names.
I wonder why that is.
Sidewinder, Cobra, Viper, Anaconda, Python. Literally, it's...
Somebody really likes snakes.
Yes.
Plus, they sound cool.
Yeah, they do. But yes, let's talk about 3 games left, folks.
Okay.
This is one. Actually, no, I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm going to ignore that one there, and I'll talk about that when you talk about it, because I want you to lead off on that because I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
So Lumines Remastered.
Yes, the Luminous Remastered.
Lumines.
Dude. The Lumines. I've played maybe a hot 20 minutes of this.
I've probably played about 2 hours worth.
Okay.
And I realized that I have never played Lumines minus a very, or Luminous, whatever it's called. This. The whole naming thing is kicked up again because they re-released this game again.
Yeah, it's technically Luminous, but I feel like I feel like if you want to call it Lumines, that's fine.
So, I've probably played a hot 30 seconds worth of this on a PSP at some point.
Okay.
Decided it wasn't for me and decided to never play one of those games again.
Fair enough.
So instead I picked up the remastered version for $15 and let's play that instead.
Right.
Because why not?
It says remastered in it. We have to pick it up.
Yes, exactly. So, I'm digging the game, and I'm seeing the ACA Neo Geo puzzle game, whatever it was that I was headbutted against a while ago.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about Money Puzzle Exchanger, and I was like, that game is so good.
I'm so want to pick it up. I was going through the new game store. I was like, wait, is that Money Puzzle Exchanger?
Wait a minute. Someone put it out again? Yeah,
I have $8 to spare?
It came out on PS4 and Switch, and I was like, I could play it in 2 places. It's so good.
Yeah. It takes something special from the Neo Geo series to grab my attention, and when I saw the Money Puzzle, I was like, wait.
Say it ain't so. That game is so good. Oh, man.
Now all we need is Windjammers, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But it's like that rut I went through while I was playing one of those games. I can't remember which one it was. I remember it was the one with the tarot cards as the selectable characters, but I can't remember what game it was.
I don't remember what that was.
When I started playing that, I struggled with it because it's like, number one, I haven't played a puzzle game in a while. Number two, I haven't played a fast-paced puzzle game in a while. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this.
Soundtrack is great, though.
Yeah, I mean, hands down, the soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, so I'm getting into it a bit more now. I'm starting to get better. We'll see how much it holds me throughout the course. But I mean, this game has been talked to death on this show. It's like,
yeah,
if you know the Lumines, then you know exactly what you're getting into. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you're curious, do what I did and experiment with your $15 and then get frustrated after an hour because you made stupid mistakes.
Yeah, I think the thing for me, this is, to me, I think the thing about Lumines Remastered is it's kind of the definitive edition of Lumines. It takes a lot of the improvements over the series, but it takes the skins and the songs from the first one, which are the ones you really want, and puts it in 1080p and just makes it look really good. Like it's kind of everything you would want from this, all in one package for $15, and like all the puzzle modes and all that stuff. It just has everything. So I think, like you said, if you've ever been interested in the series, I think this is a really great place. And like you said, for $15, that's nothing for a game that's this big.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still getting used to the whole nature of the thing because it's obviously everything's in squares. I'm getting used to how to effectively organize my drop lines, if you will.
Yeah,
so
and like flip them the right ways.
Yeah, so I'm still getting used to that aspect of it, but I mean, I am enjoying it, but it's very much being I just got stomped in Isaac today. I'm going to play this for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to go listen to some good music.
Yes, exactly. So, my last game this week, because short section for me this week, it's been hot, I've been working a lot, it was a 6-day work week, and I wanted some comfort food, so I played the ever-loving hell out of Prey Moon Crash.
Okay, I did too. I think this morning I'm at 25 hours.
I didn't check because I'm scared to see.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about Prey Moon Crash.
Okay, so let's start off with the nice basics. Right now, the position I'm in, I could make the run and get all 5 people out.
Me too, yeah. I've got all 5 unlocked. Mm-hmm. So you went through and you unlocked the 5th character, right?
Yes. The run I'm on right now, I just unlocked Hair. With that run. I unlocked Hair and then I immediately jumped in as Hair and completed Hair story mode instantly.
Okay. So this is the interesting thing that I wanted to talk about. So no,
sorry, I didn't do Hair story mode. I did use story mode.
Oh, okay.
So I've done Hairs.
We won't spoil. It's a story spoiler about who the custodian is. Mm-hmm. Won't spoil that because I think it's actually the story. Once you start unlocking characters and doing their stories, they're actually pretty good.
Yes.
Except for Riley Hughes. Just because she's a total D in her story. And it's like 5 minutes long. They do this interesting thing. So we talked a lot about Prey Mooncrash last week. And for anyone that hasn't been playing it, once you start getting much deeper into the game initially gives you, they call them Cosma orders. It's like the company that hired you as the person who's outside the moon hacking into the simulation to do these orders like this. Prey Mooncrash. These are your orders. So like the end goal of the game is complete all 27 orders.
Yep.
Right now I'm sitting at 24 out of 27.
I think I just hit 25.
Yeah. As what I found out is it's not finishing the run that finishes the game. It's completing all of those orders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which makes sense, but like I'm going to leave the run as the last one so I don't accidentally do one of the other ones.
Yep.
The thing I really like is a lot of the orders are, play as this character and escape in the shuttle to unlock their story that then when you go in, you find like this floating hologram brain, and then you do a special mission with just that character to finish up their whole storyline.
Yep.
That stuff is actually pretty cool. Like the security guys was...
Who have you liked so far the most?
Probably the custodian. Just because it took you all over the whole base.
Hers I haven't done yet, but my favorite so far is the maintenance lady. Joan Rivers,
I don't know if I've done her yet.
Hers is really good.
Yeah, I think I have her and the psionic guy left to do. So, a tip for you for the custodian lady, you're going to be going across the entire base. Make sure you have a base that is solid.
Oh yeah, I've got this thing nailed to the point now where, because it's a roguelite and not a true roguelike experience,
right?
I have got my path in my head of exactly what I do depending on what the situation is. And I've been tinkering around between the security guy and the maintenance lady as my first character to run through. I think I'm going to probably end up with the maintenance lady as my first run through, because she's got the full inventory space.
That's right, yeah.
So I'm probably going to use her to go around, and she can also do the door repairs.
Yep.
She can do all that kind of stuff on the way around the first time, and then the second time go through with probably go through it with the hacking lady, because then safes, stuff like that, she can immediately get into them all.
And she can open any door with that key.
That I did not know.
Yeah, the I don't want to say what the item's called, but you get that like purple item in your inventory that's a key that opens any door you would need a key card for.
I definitely did not know. That's very handy.
They don't really explain it, but I like kept going up to these doors, and usually it would say like no matching key card, and it would just say unlock. I was like, yes, sure. I haven't found anybody, but yeah, let's unlock the entire station. I've had a couple of frustrating runs lately. One of I had two really frustrating runs back to back when I was trying to unlock the custodian.
We discussed one of these.
Yeah, I posted these on Twitter. The first one I ran into a bug. This genuinely was a bug, where I ran into a technopath, and he zapped me with one of those like lightning balls.
Mm-hmm.
And I got locked out of being able to shoot or reload my weapons, and I couldn't open up the quick menu or my like hold the main menu in front of you thing until I got out of, like, I took the tram to another area, and then at that point all my weapons had degraded.
Oh wow.
I was like, okay, well, I have to abandon this run because there's nothing I can do at this point. And I was trying to do the security guy's mission to unlock the other person. So then the next run is the one you and I had talked about, because I was giving you a warning. His is really good, and I definitely don't want to spoil it, but you get to a point where you like use a computer and a story event happens, and the person gives you two options. It's like, oh, go over here and use this thing, or go over here and stop this thing. And the game says, well, you can only do one, but you can do
That's
both.
A lie. You can do both. There's more than enough time for both.
Like, if you've cleared out the station, which you should be if you're playing it, and like, as long as it hasn't kicked over to a new corruption level, nothing will respawn. I went to go grab the first thing, since that has a timer, and I didn't have inventory space. So I said, oh, well, like anything, I will just use it from the box it's sitting in.
Yep.
It went through the whole animation where you're like, poke yourself with this thing, and the timer didn't go away. I had to do another run, and like, I completed the whole mission, and like, I did the other thing, and then I just died because I ran out of time for this one thing. I had to go and do another run again to then pick that up, put it on my person, then use it for my inventory, and that worked. I was like,
okay.
That seems like when you can use and ingest all this other stuff from inside a box, that seems kind of weird that I would run into that.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, the question is it a one-off? Did you try to duplicate it? Do you want to do another run again just to duplicate it?
I almost wanted to duplicate it just so like if I could file a bug report, but I'm like, I don't want to spend like another potential 45 minutes to just go through and do that.
Yeah.
And another run I ran into recently was the entire station was unpowered.
That sounds like fun.
It was a nightmare. Like, I'm now on Everything is Terrible level 6, which means I now have low oxygen and dust storms.
Yep, been that.
And that sucks. Like, I have so many thoughts about this because I feel like in a lot of other roguelikes, when you unlock stuff, you're sort of excited to get back in there and see what unlocks.
Yeah.
But every time I get like the Cosma memo that says, hey, this is, corruption level 6, I just go, oh god, I don't think I want to play this anymore. Like, I this is just like one thing too many. And then I eventually get into it and I find another path around where I'm trying to go. And, as long as your suit is repaired, the oxygen doesn't really matter, which is fine. But it's just... It's one thing too many.
It's one of those things as well where one bad thing has a really serious knock-on effect to everything else. Like, you take a bunch of damage, your suit gets damaged, and all of a sudden your oxygen's having issues.
Yep.
And then you take more damage, and everything else is happening.
You're bleeding.
Yep. Broken legs is still the worst.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I came up with a solution, though, because I think potentially for a lot of people, if you haven't played a lot of roguelikes, and for me, a lot of times I go into a run and I spend all these sim points to get like my preferred loadout. And then if I get into a situation where I have a station that's completely unpowered, I don't want to spend an hour searching for those control modules to then bring back to the middle of the crater and then put another one in. Like,
just so you know, harvesters almost always have those.
Yeah, I'll have a good story about harvesters in a minute. I think I have a solution for the problem. I think as part of that loadout configuration before you go into the simulation, I think you should be able to tune your difficulty. And I think the harder you make a run, the more sim points you get. Because I have a chipset that gives me more sim points. I think it's like 10 or 20% more sim points every time I gain sim points.
Yep.
And I got that after I thought about this. But like, if I wanted to do a completely unpowered station that every section was on fire and like I start at level 3 corruption, so the moon shark shows up in Moonworks, which always surprises the hell out of me. It's just a nightmare. I'd like to do that and maybe get 15% more sim points, which at the end of the day doesn't really do too much, but I think that would stop my overall level of anxiety. We're like, what run am I going to get? Am I going to spend 15,000 sim points to get into a run that I don't think I can necessarily win, as opposed to almost like playing Isaac, where it's like, all right, I'm going to play hard mode, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to make it harder for myself and see if I can succeed there.
Yeah.
It oftentimes feels a little too punishing, and because the layout doesn't change, I don't know if it feels 100% rewarding to overcome a bad run.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so torn about it.
Me too, to be honest. I mean, that's pretty much the thing that's the perfect way to phrase how I feel about this game, is I'm torn. But as a quick pro tip to anybody who may be thinking about starting playing this, or even just starting playing Prey, look up. Always look up. If there is a door, if there is some issue you are having, don't play it like any other first-person shooter. Look up. There is 99% of the time, there is a vent, there's something nearby.
There's a maintenance hatch in the corner.
Yep. There's a series of pipes that lead to a tiny little hole. Something I didn't know, the control tower at the very start of the game, that big control tower, there is an area above that with gubbins there that I missed until I decided I'm just going to find every single survivor or every single body. And there was someone way up there. I was like, really?
I'm doing that right now. I think I have 4 people left to go. And I'm primarily doing that because I want to get all the trophies in this, because a lot of them are really good. The big ones I have left are... I'll get all the rest of them by just like playing the rest of them. The one I have is I need to hit 3 enemies with a glue charge, which I keep trying to do. Isn't happening.
I've got a place for you.
Yeah.
The Typhon...
The containment area?
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically if there is a telepath in there, or if you see a telepath.
Oh, with all the people?
Yes, the people count.
Ah, so you can just like Typhon lure and then glue bomb them?
Yep.
Smart.
That's exactly what I did, and I threw 2 glue charges and hit 4 of them at the same time. I was like, please.
Okay.
Please.
The way I did it with the that laser cutter thing,
that's one I don't have.
Oh god, those pods that shoot out the little
tentacles.
Enemies, those count.
Oh, the Christoids.
Yeah, the Christoids.
Interesting.
So just line up 3 of those, charge that thing up, and zap them from a couple feet away, and that worked for me. And I have to read all the Starbender books. I got
that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still missing one. I just looked up where it is. It's like in a toilet somewhere, so I got to go get that. But right now I'm farming neuromods for the filling out everybody's neuromods thing. So I thought...
It's exactly where I am.
Well, while I'm doing that, I'll just look for all the survivors, too. And that led me to, on a recent run, I ran into an infected harvester.
Yep, I've seen a couple of those.
That was a nightmare.
Yep.
I've blown up a bunch of them because, like, I found that a couple of them actually have tracking devices inside of them. Like, they've sucked somebody up. But yeah, that was... I ran in and it came rushing right over me with its maw open, sucking up already. And I was like, this is real bad. This is not going to go really great.
Did it end real bad, or did you actually manage to escape?
I managed to escape it, mostly because I ran away and it forgot about me. And I was playing as the security guy. So I did the slow down time thing and pulled out my orange shotgun and just in the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, harvesters, bro.
One thing, I cannot believe I didn't understand this.
Okay.
Have you been using the mule operator?
No.
Okay. I tried it just for poops and grins. Its name is literally what it does, and I didn't realize the mule operator's
it's in inventory space.
Yeah, it stays between each character.
That I didn't know. I wasn't willing to take that risk.
Yeah, I didn't either. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to escape with this guy right now anyway. I'll just get all my sim points. You know, I've had a great run. I'm just going to seal it up here and then reset the simulation. But before then, I'm going to toss everything in this dude, pick up another character, summon it as soon as you start, scoop all the stuff out of there. And I was like, oh, well, that would have been handy 50 runs ago had I thought about it.
100%.
Because I saw a lot of people online saying, if you don't reset the simulation, find, like, when you first enter the crater at the beginning, there's like that body and that supply area. Toss all your stuff in there. Boxes stay the same as long as you don't reset the simulation. I was like, man, there has to be a better way than that.
I was using the control tower at the center of the crater as my hub. Before I would do a run, so let's say I'm doing the the mass driver finish for the security guard guy.
Yep.
I would clear out the entirety of Moonworks. Yeah. Steal everything. Then, because that tower at the start, that has a recycler, it has a fabricator, it has a safe space that you can be without having to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So I would put everything. There's 2 chests, so I would use the 2 chests of stuff. So one on green, that's my materials.
Right.
One on the blue, that's my weapons.
Right.
And then I would just keep a pistol and a clip, just so I can go down and get the mass driver finish. And then when I loaded back in with the next person, that stuff is in those boxes.
Yeah, you're going to go there anyway.
Exactly.
That's smart. Have you done all 5 escape methods?
I've done all 5 escape methods as of yesterday, yes. Okay. Yesterday was the first time I unlocked the
Mimic portal?
I unlocked the Custodian yesterday, and then immediately did a run with the Custodian and then Joan to fix the portal and hack the computer, and then jumped in and did a run as the volunteer just to get his story thing out. Or just to unlock his story thing. I haven't played
I haven't done his yet. I actually really liked the mass driver escape, where it's like, load this pod up with a bunch of food and medicine, and then hoof it down to scoot in there.
Does Direct-to-You have the same issue of the things thinking you are a mimic?
Anyone does as soon as you spend enough points in their tree.
Because it's not going to be a problem with the security guard because he doesn't have mimic powers. Joan should be okay because she's only got 6.
Right, I think that's like just under. It's either 6 or 7 is the limit.
Okay, because the volunteer is incredible because he's got the best mimic power.
Yeah, he has. I think he has almost all of them, right?
I think he has a lot of them, and a couple of the DLC ones. Specifically, the one I'm talking about is Burrow, where he's like, oh, it's a door that I can't get through.
Yep, just gonna go underground. Yeah, the one of the as part of my preferred loadout, I take 5 EMP grenades with me because, as opposed to using the disruptor gun on the Typhon door panel, I actually, while I'm running towards the door, just chuck it at that panel, and it brings the whole thing down.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that makes it way easier as opposed to like, because honestly, at this point, I'm sort of getting sick of every time I go into the crater, clearing out all the Typhon there, and then like luring the moon shark far enough away, and then like using the propulsion system to jet in the door.
Yeah.
So I'll just EMP it and just run my butt in there.
That's a good fix.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is the frustrating part about Moon Crash, and I have a feeling that doing the run as all 5 people is going to put a nice positive cap on this game. I feel like when I have a good run and I have enough tools, I'm having a lot of fun. Like I'm clearing out stuff and I'm getting enough of a challenge, and I like a lot of times where, I'm not finding a lot of key cards on this run, and one door is broken and one door is locked, and I need to go over there for something, or I'm like just clearing out all of Moonworks, like you said. It's interesting to find out, like, okay, I need to get into this room, but I'm going to explore the entire area to find like that one air duct to go up and then drop down into that room. There has to be one. That stuff is still really rewarding, maybe in a way that the base game always wasn't, because it's like, well, I'll just come back there later once I have hacking level 4, and then I can just get in there.
That was always the most fun I had with the base game, was at the very, very start, figuring out just how quickly you can break it to bits just by finding secret passageways. You can get a shotgun in that game before you can get the pistol.
Yeah.
You just got to know where the secret hole is. That, like, it's a long corridor, and it's literally, if you build a glue ramp up the side, up at the top is a vent that leads into the security section that you can't get into until super later in the game when you're looking for the shotgun, and the shotgun is right there on the table.
Yeah, it's just hanging out.
they always tease you with being able to see stuff, but they always also give you the option of being able to get it right then and there.
Yeah.
You just gotta look around.
Yeah, when I played it originally, I almost treated it like a Metroidvania, where it's like, I can't get in there, I know I'll be able to do it later, I'm not even gonna worry about it. And then, like you said, eventually you figure out, it's like, oh, okay, the glue gun makes bridges. Okay, cool. Oh, there are these hidden vents all over the place that if I use my flashlight, I can probably see a little bit of. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I can... Like you said about the beginning, break this game wide open right away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So cool.
And I think that's a part of the reason why I'm still playing Moon Crash is I like the runs where I'm being challenged. I don't like the runs where they start off impossible immediately.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole station is unpowered, all 3 trams are down. You know, it's sort of like, well, it's going to be such a huge hump to get over to even be able to get to stuff and have them function. You know, if you're the security guy, you're just going to start muscling open doors anyway, so power doesn't really matter. But, like, I'm so torn on it. T1 Rocks in chat asks, do you recommend playing the single player before this mode, or could you do either? I would probably recommend playing the single player once. Like,
yes.
The whole way through. Because there are tutorials for every, like, power and weapon and all that stuff in this, but I feel like they sort of assume you know how to use everything, like, in the 3 ways you could use it. Like, when you pick up the recycler charge for the first time, it's sort of like, throw this at stuff and it turns into materials. And it's like, no, you need to keep that for radiation leaks, because you throw them at the radiation things, suck those up, and then they're not a problem.
Yep.
And I feel like the game sort of assumes that you've figured that out, or you're willing to spend a ton of runs to figure that sort of stuff out. So
yeah, it's one of the things I loved about the single player game itself was how it rewarded lateral thinking.
Yeah,
it was one of those very few games that you get where it's like, here is the objective, there is a way you can do it, and then it doesn't even tell you. Feel free to find any one of all the, like, 5 or 6 different other ways to go and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very much a Metal Gear thing where it's like, this is the guy, beat him. Damn, do how you want to do it.
You just need to, how are you going to do it?
Yep.
Yeah, and I like, now that I'm deep enough in the game that I feel like nothing's going to get spoiled, I do like looking at some strategies that people have. Like you had mentioned previously about the disruptor gun and the Typhon doors. It's like, of course it does, but I never would have thought about that. I would just kept using EMP grenades.
Yep.
I feel like that's a great part about Prey, and part of the reason why we really liked it when we played the original release last year was sort of like, you know, did you know you can get a shotgun in the first hour? And it's like, what? No, how? Like, now I want to go back and play. Like, I could go get that.
Which I'm pretty sure, by the way, that the System Shock Typhon powers also do power down the doors.
Oh, really? Man, okay, cool.
Joan of Joan's 6 powers, she's got one specifically designed for trashing machines.
Oh, okay.
And I used it on a harvester to disable the harvester so I could try and get the person's wristband out of it.
Right.
And it disables electrical equipment.
Interesting.
So she can probably use that to open those doors too.
Yeah, I haven't been playing with the Typhon powers too much yet because I sort of want to leave myself as few impediments as possible to get all these neuromods, because like I have this neuromod farming path, mostly through more Riley Yu's office and the stuff up there.
That's part of using the control tower for me, is I try and use my most neuromodded out people early.
Yeah.
So Joan is like, I think Joan has got like 4 left, but her 4 left that I need are the Typhon powers. Like she's got Static Shock 1 and Machine Mind 1. She's still got 2 more on each tree. But she's got everything else filled out. My security guy is 100% filled out.
Nice.
So with her, I'm going to go around, scoop up all the gubbins, take it back to the center place, and that will allow me to, if I need it, I can immediately craft one of the time things, the delay loops.
Right.
And then by the time I'm coming close to knowing exactly what I've got left, I'll be able to say, okay, I can just drop maybe 5 delay loops, and that should be enough to get me to the end of the game.
Yeah.
and I can use everything that's left and just neuromod pump them out the fabricator, not including any that you pick up on the actual runs themselves.
Well, and with that mule operator too, it's, I'm starting to figure out that you can start a run as a custodian, open up every single door, scoop up all the neuromods, and then if all of her trees have been filled, you toss them in the mule operator, go escape or die, spawn as another person, pull them out immediately, and just start filling their tree with the stuff the other person scooped. So it's like, that stuff is so good. But, yeah, I don't know. Anything else about Prey Moon Crash? We're going to keep talking about it for the next couple of weeks, so.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty much all on Prey Moon Crash, and that's pretty much all for me, with one exception, but I'm pretty sure you're going to talk about it, so take it away, Boston.
I am at the end of the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta. Not going to belabor the point too much right now, because I am at the final boss. I'm having so much trouble.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's been really funny watching you talk about this on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, it really boils down to, number one, my party has no healing, and number two, nobody can wear heavy armor, so my defense is really, really low, and my damage output is fine, but I'm having trouble getting it out fast enough, so I'm like trying to min-max my whole setup, and a lot of it lately has been, I'm going to sit there and watch movies and like watch TV with my kid, and I'm just going to grind out levels. And just right now I think I'm at level 45, which is hilariously high for the end of Final Fantasy V. You can easily beat this game at level 30. The last boss I think is like level 95, but that doesn't really count for anything. I can beat the first form of the final boss really easily. Second form is where I really have the problem. So I'm right at the ending, and I'm super stubborn, so there's nothing that's going to stop me from finishing this other than time. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and then immediately start back over to another run, because I'm weird and I have a problem with Final Fantasy V.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but only for 3 months of the year, when the Fiesta is happening. So, and last but not least, we played a lot of the same games this week. I did a playthrough of The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
And this is the one.
Yeah, I wrote on Twitter, and this wasn't a joke.
This tweet perfectly sums up this game, and Don't Nod games in general. Take it away.
Yeah, I wrote, I was looking to get a little bit of an escape from the news. We don't talk about politics on the show, but the news has been rough lately. And I thought, well, everybody was out of the house. They were on a little field trip. I have 2 hours here to play something positive. I will play The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, a fun jaunt through a child's imagination.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yep.
That was a mistake.
So, breaking this down a little bit, I did not do all. I wasn't sure what to expect from this, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I went in blind as I could be. I didn't do all of the awesome chores.
I did 6, I think.
I think I did like 4, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, by the way, here's the end. It's like,
right.
I'm not complaining. It was free. It was a good 2 hours.
Yeah. It looks great. Like, the new UE4 engine looks good. It runs super smooth.
Super smooth. The animations look incredible. Like, good on them for A, producing an engine test, and then B, producing an engine test that can stab you in the heart over and over. We're
probably not going to talk spoilers about the ending, but it's only 2 hours, so we'll talk a little bit about the overall themes. I really did like the... there was some stuff in Before the Storm that sort of teased, like, oh, does someone have powers? Ooh, do they maybe not? Oh, I don't know. I really liked them addressing that at the beginning where, what's the kid's name? Chris? He's, like, flying around his ship, and it very much looks like he's controlling it with his mind, and then, like...
It looks like force powers.
Yeah, and then his hand comes out from the side of the frame. It's just like...
It happens over and over and over again.
Yep.
it's shot really, really well every time.
Yeah.
And my favourite part of that is I was using my Elite controller. The controller vibrates as the power intensifies, and then
That's
the
great.
second you see that it's not real, it dead stops vibrating.
That's so good.
It's really, really good. Same for the TV. Like, it's like, wow.
Yeah. Did you
And
do
it's
the water
vibrating.
heater part?
I did. The water eater.
Yeah, the water eater. That was probably one of my favorite cuts in this, where like he finally touches the monster, and then it has a hard cut to what it really is, and he just goes boop.
Yep.
Like that's
Exactly.
that's one of the best ones. I think. I think number one, I have no idea which choices of mine are going to carry over into Life is Strange 2.
Same. Exactly the same.
I'm super excited about Life is Strange 2. Now more than before. Like, you say you're coming out with Life is Strange 2, I say, cool, when can I pre-order the season pass? Because I'm in already. Mm-hmm. I think them saying you'll see Chris back in Life is Strange 2 is sort of like, I want to know when and how, because that seems super cool.
Yeah, it really does.
I think this story about the weight of abuse was way heavier than I was expecting it to be.
I was not expecting it to go as dark as it could, as quick as it did.
Like, for me, it seemed fine at the beginning until you saw what happened to Chris's arm, and I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
Oh, this is going real wrong already.
Yep.
I think it's a testament to how the writing and how the environmental storytelling is in the game that I was avoiding doing certain things in the game because I was so anxious about Chris's dad yelling at me that I wasn't doing stuff.
The gun on the shelf?
Yeah, I did shoot him with it, though.
I did not.
He actually enjoyed it, and I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was so nervous, and I was like, you look at it, and I was sort of like, he's probably going to shoot his dad, right? And I was like, I don't think he's had enough to drink that this might be okay.
It literally says shoot dad.
Yeah.
That's the A button prompt.
And I was like, he's not drunk yet, so that might be okay. And he was okay, and I was like, oh, thank God. I didn't get yelled at. Like,
yep.
I think that's part of this thing being so strong and so great in just... I think I cleared it in about an hour and a half, but I looked up, like, his phone's passcode. I looked it up because it's like 12 characters. I looked up the...
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's... I don't even know where it came from. The Hot Dog Man game in there was very fun. It is actually playable.
Come on.
If you start the game back over, you can probably do it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I looked up the combination locks, the code in the back of the garage.
I didn't even find the key to open the garage.
It was in your dad's lamp. He says, like, oh, this won't work. He, like, straightened it because it was crooked, and the key fell out there. And I was like, oh.
I thought that was the key to the closet.
Oh, it was. Where was the
locked.
other one? I don't remember. There's... What I think is so great about this is they it's the polar opposite of Life is Strange, the other two Life is Strange seasons, that there's only two areas. It's the inside of the house, which has very few areas, and the backyard area of the house. But all of that is so packed with stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff about his mom and dad. Like, I found a bunch of Blackwell Academy stuff. You know,
Did you see the magazine?
The magazine.
You keep talking. I screenshotted this because I wanted to check
Okay, I don't remember it. But like the environments are so packed with stuff that it feels so good compared to the other Life is Strange, which is like you'll go into a room and there'll be one or two things in each room.
Yeah, like the density is really high up there.
Yeah, which I thought was really great. Oh, did you find it?
No.
Oh, okay. I think I was already excited for Life is Strange 2, and then I didn't really understand where this story interlude was going to come. I wasn't sure we were. Thankfully, the very end of it says like we'll see Chris again in Life is Strange 2, which is great. I'd love to play as that character again. Hopefully when he's older, because that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that definitely hyped me up. But no, this magazine.
Oh yeah,
Look at the name on the bottom.
Yeah, is that the guy who's the photographer from the photography teacher?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that name. I was like, is that photography teacher guy? I feel like it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But I think the thing that really excited me was those last couple of minutes that I won't spoil.
Okay, are we talking treehouse moment?
Yeah, like everything from when you run out of the house, like away from your dad, those last couple of minutes, like the treehouse moment, and then like the seeing the people next door. I liked that they made good on stuff that they had been trying to do throughout the entire episode, and then like having those things be the last things are sort of like September's kind of far away, man.
Yep, it really is. Yeah, really not at the same time.
Yeah, like I'm not lying. Whenever the season pass shows up on the PlayStation Store, I will be getting that. However much it costs, I want that as soon as possible because I feel like the season 1 did really great, and they didn't do Before the Storm, but I really enjoyed that. And then to have them have a new engine, some better voice actors, better writing, and that stuff in just this 2-hour little thing makes me so excited for Life is Strange 2.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in. I was already in, but now I'm in.
Yeah. And I think if anyone hadn't played Life is Strange, number one, the season pass for the first Life is Strange is often like $10. That I will not hesitate to recommend that. This is only two hours and it's free. So
yep. If you don't have any experience in this wheelhouse, give it a shot just to see how you feel about it.
It's so good, and it worked. As a marketing tool, it worked.
And we kind of can't really say a whole lot about it because the very nature of the thing is it's so short, it's so packed. Yeah. That literally within about 4 seconds, it's spoilers.
Yeah, and I especially for someone that hasn't played these games before, or like you haven't played the Captain Spirit stuff, go play it. I mean, you don't have to do everything. I think you just need to have enough time pass between when you start and then when you go back in the house. So at most you can like look at a walkthrough, do everything, and kind of kill it in about an hour. But go play it. It's super great for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of July 2nd, 2018. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition comes out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Of course it does.
Yeah. I probably won't pick this up. I might pick it up to support them. But I don't want to play it again. I feel like I milked that thing dry originally.
Oh, I definitely did.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to news stories. Sony is hearing about and looking at crossplay, but they're not really doing anything.
No, because I'm not sure if it's included in this, but hasn't Fallout 76 also come out and said the exact same thing? Just today, Todd Howard was sort of like, we'd love crossplay, but Sony doesn't want to be nice. So, whoops. Basically, someone at Eurogamer basically asked them point blank, like, look, you talked about PS3 flying too close to the sun, and then PS4 pulled back to basics, and it seems an awful lot like right now with crossplay, you're kind of strapping on the wings and flying back towards the sun. They're not strapping on the wings, they're strapping on the rockets.
That's true. Very funny for Fortnite since they just had a rocket event where they cracked the sky.
Yep.
Sean Layden, who's a person I really like, disappointingly said, we're hearing about it. We're looking at possibilities. You can imagine it would affect more than just one game, blah, blah, blah.
He was fed a corporate line to say,
Yeah, and it's really disappointing because, I know it doesn't affect just one game. I want it to work in Fortnite and PUBG and Minecraft and Rocket League and Diablo 3 and 500 games on your platform. I don't want to hear that you're looking at it. You're looking at possibilities. We hear you. That's the line Bungie gives, and that's what they say when they mean "shut up. We've heard you. We're not doing anything about it." And for them to say we're working on it, you have hundreds of engineers. They're headquartered in San Diego. They have a lot of people working here in just this place. Have them fix it. Just fix it. Stop being stupid, stop being stubborn, and fix it.
This is probably the most toe the company line I've ever heard Sony be for the longest time.
Yeah, since 2 Jobs?
Yep, since 2 Jobs is probably about accurate.
Yeah.
The last time I heard somebody toe the company line this bad was Spencer when the OG launch party for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
He towed that company line hard and give him credit where it's due. The dude seems to be off the reins at this point now where he's just, say whatever you want, Phil. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. Help Xbox win. T-Bomb Rocks in chat says, Sony doing things like this will have Xbox back in the lead next gen. I agree. I mean, it might have them back in the lead this gen, because if you say, this person can't play with this person, then they go, okay, cool, well, I'll just play this free game on this other platform then.
Yep.
T-Bomb Rocks also asked, do you think Sony won't do this because they know they have the less stable network? I mean, PSN's stability and especially speeds have been a problem since the PS2 days.
Yep.
It really hasn't ever gotten better, and I wouldn't be surprised if the network engineers are like, don't open those floodgates, man. We can't handle what we have here. We can't handle that. That's for sure.
They're the dudes nailing boards to the gate that's being battered open kind of thing.
They're doing Rainbow Six Siege. Just patch it. I think the thing, though, is here's a crazy thing to foster investment in improving the PlayStation's network's health. Like Microsoft does, have us pay $10 to change our name. That's it. I bet that'd be like $5 million in the first day.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but when they went to PlayStation Plus, didn't they say the reason everybody's going to be paying these days, which marketing magic, they managed to make people pay for something and cheer that they get to pay for something.
Yes.
Good on them. Good on you, Sony, for that one. They said at that time this would be for things like network improvements, network development, stuff like that. I get it. It has improved so much since the PS3 days.
Yeah. But still not
at the same
good.
Time.
As I always say, better is not good.
I get the funny feeling that it's like, yeah, you pay for this, we'll improve it.
Yeah.
We did improve it, but all the rest of that money, that's going over this section.
I have a yacht to buy, so...
Yes. That's how it feels right now, and that's the worst thing you can do is make someone feel like you're paying for their yacht.
Yeah. So we'll keep covering this as long as Sony keeps opening their jaw and not fixing it. And
they need to either A, fix it, or B, shut up about it.
Yep. I don't want to hear more of we're hearing your concerns and we've communicated those to the development teams. It's like, cool, that you threw it in a bin. Thanks.
Yep. We have noted your complaints.
Yeah.
Here is the place where we file a shred.
Yeah. Next news story, PUBG Corp is dropping its lawsuit against Epic Games.
Yep.
Very quietly did that and dropped it for seemingly no reason. So
my favorite joke, I think the reason why is because someone came out and said, well, what about Wuzzy or whatever it was, the zombie game that had the exact same thing, which, if I'm right, is the mod that guy developed for that game before making it his own game.
Right.
But it's not his proprietary right to that because it was a mod he developed for a game, so the company who owns the game owns the rights to that.
I see.
That's why it's been dropped, is because technically he doesn't own those rights. That goes technically to this thing.
Yeah, like it doesn't have enough legal grounds.
Yes, this is a paper argument in the first place anyway, but my favourite joke is 100 lawyers jump out of an aeroplane and get nowhere.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, really, really, really good. Now, spend that money making the game better, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was the reference I was making earlier, by the way.
Amy Hennig announced that she left EA about 6 months ago at the start of 2018, and has plans in motion to open her own studio.
Good.
She
one of the most maligned people in video games, it feels like these days.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I think if people don't remember her sort of lineage here, she worked in lead positions for Legacy of Kain, Jak and Daxter, and famously the Uncharted franchise. She co-created and wrote the majority of Uncharted. She was going to direct a Star Wars title for EA, but the whole thing around Visceral Games happened, and it sounds like that game got shelved, and then something else Star Wars at EA got shelved, so she decided to start her own company.
Yeah, because wasn't she originally supposed to be on 1717 or whatever it was?
1313? Yeah, and then was going to be on whatever Visceral was making, which I don't think was 1313. I think it was something else.
Who knows anymore?
One of the 50 dead Star Wars games over the last 5 years of this generation.
Yep. So
I'm really excited to see what she's going to do, because she has made some incredible stuff in the past, and I hope that her heading up her own studio where she is at the forefront of what her team is making, I think they're going to make some really great stuff. So
yeah,
fingers crossed. Well,
yes.
I know the unfortunate reality is we probably won't see something for like 4 years. So unless they kickstart something, so it's a bummer.
Let's just hope this isn't another. Why can I forget the guy's name? Gears of War guy, not the new one, the original one.
Cliffy B?
Yes, let's hope this isn't a Cliffy B scenario.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of companies probably learned a lot of lessons from whatever his studio's name was.
Cliffy B's studio. There you go.
Yeah, Cliffy B and the studio. Next news story.
That's the name of my new concept album.
Yeah. Cliffy and the Bees.
That's a good name.
Next news story. ToeJam Earl Back in the Groove had a big Kickstarter news update recently after being quiet for quite a couple of months. Other than we'll see you at E3. They are saying they're still coming out in 2018. There's going to be a beta of some sort during the summer. Surprisingly, they're no longer being published by Adult Swim Games.
Interesting.
They're going back to just being published by themselves, Human Nature Studios. And they were surprisingly forthcoming, saying, like, look, Adult Swim Games are going to be putting out a ton of games this year. I mean, they're always constantly putting stuff out. But the release window we wanted, they were going to push us into 2019, and we didn't want that, so we agreed to sort of break our publishing contract.
Well, at least it's an amicable part.
Yeah, and at least it was sort of like, it wasn't like, God, now that we're free, those jerks, I can't believe they wanted to put Rick and Morty in our game, or something like that. It was very much like, look, it was working fine, and we just couldn't come to the same. They said, we have to release this year. We don't want you guys to wait longer to play the game. We couldn't release it this year with them, so we're moving on. So
good on them. That's how deals should be made and then talked about after the fact.
Yeah.
None of this mudslinging.
Yeah. Speaking of mudslinging, let's talk about poop slinging. The Binding of Isaac 4 Souls Kickstarter has launched. This is Ed McMillan, the lead designer. Sorry. It's like Nine Inch Nails. It's just Trent Reznor. Ed McMillan, the designer behind Binding of Isaac, and his wife have designed a 2 or more player card game / board game for the Binding of Isaac. And it looks really good.
Yep.
They've shown off a bunch of stuff. They had a live stream where they played an early version of it when the Kickstarter went live. He was only asking for $50,000. I think he said he got that within an hour.
Yep.
They're now at like 1,500% funding. So like, that's pretty good. I went in for the $35 tier. So I could get...
I'm debating right now.
Yeah, the $25 tier gets you the game. The $35 one gets you like the game and a little bit of extra stuff. And then everything else beyond that I try not to look at because I want a Binding of Isaac shirt. I want some figurines. I want a cool placemat. But I can't afford that. This Destiny 2 DLC pack is very expensive. That I just bought, and it's so pricey. What tier do you think you're thinking about?
I mean, I'm gonna go one of two ways. I'm gonna go with the step up from the basics. So probably the $35 is probably the smart one for me,
right?
Because it's just gonna be to support it. That's the big thing for me. Is it will literally be to support it because we have I kid you not, like a dressing cabinet like drawers.
Yeah.
In our library room downstairs. That makes me sound so fancy. Yes, it's a library.
Where our games go in the library.
Yeah, it was Louise in the library with a box of board games.
Right.
But we have drawers and drawers full of board games down there, including like I kickstarted $1 million, but that game is still in its packaging. It's never been used.
Right. Waiting for eBay.
It was to support.
Yeah.
A company that I liked and a project that I enjoyed. So, 35 is the smart one, but $100 goes to figures.
I know.
Figures can go on shelves that can be seen.
This is very much my attitude at the ToeJam and Earl Kickstarter. It's like, this is the smart one, but I'm going to spend $250 because I can get a vinyl figurine of ToeJam and Earl and the spaceship. So I'm sure as hell going to get that.
It's the smart one versus the right one.
Exactly. I can be right, but I won't be smart.
Exactly.
I just looked at how much this is. It's $788,000.
Oh, wow. Good. You know what? Ever since I loved Super Meat Boy when it came out.
Yeah.
And then I watched Indie Game the Movie. And Indie Game the Movie makes you feel one of two ways towards every single person in that movie. You either love them or you absolutely despise them.
Yeah.
Jonathan Blow, looking at you, I hate you. Guy who made Fez, looking at you, I hate you too.
Yeah, Phil Fish.
Yes.
Ed McMillan, love you.
Ed, love ya.
Scrappy little guy.
I can't remember the programmer guy's name, but love him too.
Tyler?
I think it is Tyler. But those two came out of that thing like shining.
Scrappy underdogs.
Yeah.
And it has almost 12,000 backers. It has 25 days to go. Mm-hmm. This is incredible. And it's one of those things where it couldn't happen to a more deserving person. Yeah.
I mean, the really funny thing about that type of stuff is it's something, again, talking about $1 million, but it's something Bernie from over at Rooster Teeth has talked about. It's not about the audience you get, it's about the engagement you get from the audience.
Yep.
Because you take 750, whatever it is, thousand, and you divide that by 12,000, how much is each individual person putting in?
Yeah.
It's more than $1. It's more than $10.
Yeah.
It's way more than $30.
Well, and I think it says so much about how passionately people feel about Binding of Isaac that it was funded for $50,000 in less than an hour. In the first 24 hours, it's funded hundreds of percents over. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's stuff like that is the stuff I love to see. I don't even care if it comes out, although board games, apparently our Discord was talking about the rate for board games coming out and being a success from Kickstarter are pretty high.
Yeah.
I wasn't Cards Against Humanity Kickstarted as well, and that's took
I
the
think
world
so.
by storm.
Yeah. Well, they have a whole
but-
company now that does a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, good for him. The guy deserves it. Like,
Yeah.
he works his behind off on games which have no right to be as successful as they are.
Well, and you can tell he loves his games. Like, between obviously he loved Meat Boy, he loves Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
You know, The End Is Nigh. You know, all these games, he even Fingered, like a lot of these other smaller games too. Fingered, a secret game about racism, which is really good. Yeah, it's great. So I'm super excited to see how high this thing will go, and then get this game at my house and put it on a shelf behind me and never play it.
Yep.
Through no fault of Edmund's. It's just, I don't know when my wife and I will play a game that comes with 100 literal pennies in it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's a really great Isaac thing. Next news story, rumor is, this coming from Jason Schreier at Kotaku, of course, because he gets all the scoops. Replacing Patrick Klepek as
I was just about
scoops.
to say, stand aside Patrick Klepek.
Google seems to be planning a game platform, looking to scoot in to maybe be one of the big three. The main three tentpoles of this appear to be, one, that's some sort of streaming platform, two, that's some sort of hardware, and three, it's an attempt to bring game developers under the Google umbrella through either aggressive recruiting or even just straight up major acquisitions. My knee-jerk to this is anytime a fourth player comes in, Microsoft is the third player just through sheer billions of dollars flushed down the toilet until they succeeded.
Yeah. Let's face it, the only other company that has the kind of two companies that have the clout to be able to do that's Amazon and that's Google.
Yep. And not Twitch. They don't have enough money yet.
Well, Twitch is technically Amazon, dude. Come on.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, maybe YouTube, but that's Google too.
That's Google.
What's
that? Mega corporations? Is that the word I'm hearing?
This is really interesting because I feel like there can only be 3 at a time, and Google coming in with a potential 4th on the surface sounds fine, but then they're talking about some sort of streaming platform, and they might have the money and they might have the engineering chops to finally figure out game streaming.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a long way to go to sell something like that, especially if you're selling a piece of hardware that will then stream games. If that hardware isn't like a Chromecast where it's $20, that's sort of going to be a hard sell to put another thing on my TV that's going to take up more of my bandwidth cap to play games potentially not as well as I can play on my PS4 or Xbox One because my internet connection kind of sucks.
Yep. The only way this works for me is if they put Google Fiber everywhere.
Yeah.
You live in the middle of the boonies, have some Google Fiber.
Yep.
Now buy our console.
I would buy your console if it got me Google Fiber. They were originally going to go in San Diego, but we lost whatever the bidding process is, which is...
We're 4 streets down from fiber. That's the most
sucks.
frustrating thing ever.
I can see it. I can see the poles.
Mm-hmm.
God, that sucks. I'll buy my own fiber and I will run it along some sort of poles. Just plug me into your modem.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. I mean, technically, if we want to get really pedantic about this, let's talk about how Nintendo is technically not one of the big 3 anymore. Nintendo does what Nintendo does.
Yeah, they're their own market.
Yeah. So technically speaking, right now, of the big 3, there are only 2 that really exist.
That's fair.
Nintendo is a thing all by itself.
Yeah.
So...
And that's not pejorative for anyone listening. They're very successful, ever since the original DS. They've sort of carved out this own market. I was going to say a niche marketplace until the Wii came along. But they have their own market that does really well for them.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo are literal wizards.
Yeah.
Every single time someone talks about how Nintendo are completely they're defunct, they're not on the cutting edge, they're never going to be popular again. Oh, what's that? Here's the Wii. Oh, Nintendo.
They have their
so
hat
bad.
and their magical staff, and they say, well, here's the 3DS. And it's like, that looks dumb. Whoops, it's great.
Yep. Oh, what's that? You think we can't do consoles anymore because of the Wii U? Well, let me show you the Switch. Oh, look.
I made
it's
a portable
incredible.
home console. But I did both.
Like, Nintendo are literal wizards and good on them.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, they will always be bigger than Microsoft or Sony.
Yep.
Not revenue-wise,
Yeah.
but culture-wise. You say to someone Microsoft, you say to someone Sony, most random hoobadoobs on the street are not going to think Xbox or PlayStation.
Right.
You say to someone Nintendo, and people, it's commonly referred to as you go into the video game store with a grandmother and you say, I want a game, and she's like, oh, you want this game for your Nintendo? Pointing at the Xbox
Right.
shelf, because
Play it
that's
on your
how
Nintendo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People view this as Nintendo have that kind of recognition.
It's the console.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
going to do what they're going to do, and good on them, because they keep being weird, and I love Nintendo when they're weird.
Yep. 100%.
So, yeah, bring in a third. Let's see what can do.
Yeah.
Hopefully the might of Google will maybe make Sony think about crossplay.
Well, and I think they have enough money and enough stubbornness to not be Ouya.
Yes.
Because, like, at some point, Ouya's money dried up because it didn't exactly take the world by storm when it launched. And then I feel like when the money ran out, then obviously the company
People got scared.
sort of was done. So,
Yeah.
Interesting. Somebody's also done with something. TellTale is set to retire their engine after The Walking Dead Season 4. Let's throw a parade.
Yes, let's... in fact, I'd say let's throw a parade in 3 days' time.
Right.
Let's throw a really big parade and celebrate it.
Yeah. I get it. It's July 4th. All right.
There you go.
I picked it up. All right. I think this is really interesting because we have seen TellTale make all of the choices that they have needed to make over the last couple of years in just the last couple of months ever since they got rid of their senior management.
Yep. It's literally been a case of what do you do in TellTale for about, 6 years, would you say?
Yeah.
And in 2 months, they're like, okay, TellTale's back. Good.
Yeah.
This is good.
Good. You guys are back on the right path. And I think smartly they're going to Unity, which is a great engine that everybody seems to know. So I feel like it was probably between that or UE4.
I was expecting UE4.
Yeah, I guess Don't Nod will take UE4, and then TellTale will. They both stood on the opposite side of the room and said, "All right, we're drawing this line. I've got Unity, you've got UE4. Stay away from each other."
Yeah.
I have again been disappointed by people on the internet being like, "Oh, great, they're going to screw it up by going with stupid Unity that doesn't work." It's like, to me, Unity is like a guitar. You can buy the worst guitar, and it will still sound good in an experienced player's hands. But if I go to try and play something, it's going to be like someone strangling a cat.
Yeah, if you take, any guitar that any professional has ever played, you will destroy that guitar, and you will destroy the noise that comes from it, and it will be forever shamed by your presence.
Right. But I feel like if I was to go make a game with Unity right now, it would be hot trash. That's not Unity's fault.
No, that's yours.
Yeah, that's me being not skilled at a tool. You put someone like TellTale with Unity, or even Don't Nod with Unity, you're going to make a good game.
Yeah.
So, the TLDR on that is shut the hell up.
Yeah,
Internet.
pretty much. I mean, the best thing about that, though, is you got to realize, I think a lot of the reason behind this messaging of F Unity is because, number one, Unity is a dirty word these days.
Yeah.
But also, how many asset flips have we seen specifically because it's easy to do it in Unity?
Yeah, coming from, the Unity store. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has this bad name that I feel like the engine hasn't earned, but people misusing the tool has earned.
Oh, yeah.
And our last news story here, speaking of shut the hell up, Tetsuya Nomura admits that Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake were announced too early.
Wow.
From the studio of No Crap comes this statement.
Hold on, I've got breaking news. Crackdown 3, delayed till next year.
Crackdown 3 has been worked on too long. The really interesting thing is, obviously that headline makes sense. What he's talking about, though, is the reason they announced it so early, and let's talk about communication here. We talked about Bungie earlier. The reason they announced this early was because it was about to be leaked. And they said, well, let's just announce it. Let's get an official announcement out there so we can sort of present it how we wanted it to. That's great, but you also have to say, hey, we literally just started on it. Wait for 5 years. Like, it's not going to happen. Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't going to happen right now for PS4 launch. Like, you know that. And so many people... I don't know a person that would be genuinely mad by someone saying, like, look, we just started it. It's going to be a long time before this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, well, I just got another email from Amazon saying, it's December 25th, 2013. This will be released December 31st, 2014. It's like, we're just going to push that another year.
Yeah.
That's when you start getting real disappointment, and Square, year after year is just saying, like, yeah, man, we're still working on it. We're in the salt mines. We're just hard at work. And their internal document says 20% done.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really sucks.
Just
shape up, Square.
Do what Bethesda does. Announce it 6 months before release,
right. Or
if it gets leaked, come out and say, here it is. It'll be out around about this time, kind of a more realistic date.
Yeah.
Not,
Or like Starfield, where it's like, look, we just started working on this. We're going to show you this trailer because that's all we got. Just strap in for a long wait.
That and the new Elder Scrolls game, that's two perfect examples of them saying, we will see you in a couple of years to talk about these things.
Yeah, we'll see you on this stage in about 3 years from now, showing you more footage.
This is just to tickle your taste buds a little bit.
Yeah. Let's move on to questions. Jimbo Jangle sends us an email titled Political Stances, JK Video Games. It says, hey dudes, Jimbo Jangles here. With summer games done quick wrapping up, my question to the crew this week, what game would you speedrun? Thanks, and have a super show.
Oh boy.
I know my answer.
I don't, because you can tell, just go look at my gamer card on Xbox. You will see probably the widest variety of games someone can possibly play.
Yeah.
Puzzle games to sport games to first-person shooters to real-time strategy games, all on one platform, not even including PC and phone and everything else. I have not put that amount of time into one specific game to be able to speed run it. The closest thing I have to that is probably Isaac. That's it.
Would you speedrun Prey, though?
I could do it quick. I don't think it would be speedrun quick.
The current record is 17 minutes.
I could definitely not do it that quick.
Are there any games that you have like Prey, where it's like, I really love this game, it's something that I love playing that I could maybe think about speedrunning? Because my game is Symphony of the Night, which unfortunately has like a very rigid... It's like so fine-tuned now that I can do the first skip at the very beginning of the game because it's pretty easy. But then after that, I kind of fall apart.
That's my biggest thing is, like, I wouldn't be able to do it with a modern day game. No way would I be able to do it with a 3D game, just because there's so many ways to break that.
Yeah.
And finding the breaks and finding how to put them all together in a cognitive manner would be the most difficult thing. I mean, if we're gonna go back to the old 2D old school things, why not? Let's see if I can speedrun Alex Kidd.
Sure, yeah.
Where you get to every single boss and have to do a rock, paper, scissors battle with them. Because why not?
Yeah, God, that'd be a nightmare speedrun.
Yep.
The most RNG speedrun.
Yes.
Man. Yeah. I can't think of anything else I would really want to do, because I feel like almost all of these games that are out now, they have a speedrunning community pretty immediately, and it's stuff moves so quickly. Like, I watched the Wind Waker Summer Games Done Quick run, of course, because that's almost always technically incredibly impressive. And it was. Basically, hit the pause button, got into a specific spot for about 6 minutes, and then shot like a rocket across the map. It was awesome. But I don't know if there's anything else I really love that much. Maybe Super Mario World? I love that game. Because I feel like you have to play a game you love, because you're going to play it so much.
Yeah, but then that's the problem, is then it becomes less about how much you love it and more about the technical, how can you break this, and that's one of the reasons why I probably wouldn't do it, because Alex Kidd is actually a good choice for me, because I absolutely despise that game, yet also I love her at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I picked that, is because I hate it and I love it. So I wouldn't be too bad with breaking down every single aspect of that game and being able to tear it to bits. I couldn't do it with something else. I couldn't do it with Prey because I wouldn't want... Well, Prey's easy enough. You go in a hole, you go to the door. It's the technical glitches. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that with a game that I love, because then it would change the way I view it, I think, for the future. You
would almost want to do like a glitchless run.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking up Final Fantasy V's speedrun leaderboards 4 months ago. Someone put one for 3 hours, 41 minutes, and 28 seconds. That's pretty crazy.
Course.
Oh, do they have a video link? Video available. Yeah, watch that.
Someone's got 3 hours tonight.
Watch that later. I could watch a Final Fantasy V speedrun while I'm grinding Final Fantasy V.
Playing Final Fantasy V, yeah.
Final Fantasyception. Almighty Tooth sends us a question in Discord. Says, Remedy released a trailer for Control where they buried the developer logo until the end. The crowd at the event where the trailer was shown was very mild for the game, which had some cool ideas. Once the trailer finally showed the Remedy logo is where the crowd chimed up. Is there a point where games only share recognition from where they came from instead of their own merits?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you Destiny.
I mean, yeah.
Is that not the prime example of this exact same thing?
You know, I feel like I'm in the minority, though, because I never liked Halo. When my wife and I saw the original E3 demonstration, we had been playing enough Borderlands that we're like, okay, cool, this looks like another Borderlands that we can play co-op. So on the surface, we're pretty interested, but Halo, whatever. But yeah, for a lot of people, it was like, cool, Bungie's making another game, I'll scoop it up. What is it? Yeah, that's fine. I don't care what it's about.
Weirdly enough, Halo 4 was one of my favorite Halo games. Not made by Bungie.
Yeah, I liked
Reach.
Yeah, I thought Reach was pretty good. Was that made by Bungie?
Reach was
okay.
Reach was Bungie.
Reach was pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I just don't like Master Chief. Is my problem.
And that's one of the reasons why I love 4. Because they flat out say why you should hate Master Chief.
Great, I should go play 4.
Yep.
I think it's especially hard for games nowadays because like you can put out a really great logo, cough cough Dead Island, and then
cough cough No Man's Sky, cough.
Yeah, boy. And then you can put out a game and it doesn't look or play anything like that. But I feel like, especially for a company like Remedy, where like that trailer looks super cool and it's like this all looks cool. Ooh, Remedy, hello. Like,
yeah. I think that's the prime example of a trailer getting you interested in something.
Yeah.
And then a developer logo getting you hyped.
Yeah, like something. Sealing the deal, where it's like, whatever this is, it looks cool. I love Remedy. That's like the good 1-2 punch for me.
Yeah. I'll check out a quick look. No, I won't. I'll buy it.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't... Yeah, I don't know. Actually, the White Knight in Mixer Chat asked, what do you think about Red Dead 2? I feel like that's a perfect example of this question, where it's like someone says, you know, someone watches the trailer and the first 10 seconds the Rockstar logo comes up and they're like, where do I pre-order? What is it? Give it to me. But then you might actually have to play Red Dead, and that's the bad part.
Whoa.
Red Dead Redemption is not a good game, sorry.
Red Dead Redemption is a really good game.
I will respectfully disagree.
That is absolutely fine.
Everything except for playing. The music is great. It probably doesn't look that great anymore. Well, no, the Xbox One X version looks good.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, again, something we mentioned earlier this show, it's the whole cult of personality thing when it comes to developers, and I don't think you'll get a bigger one for that than Rockstar.
Yeah, like Rockstar, Bungie.
Rockstar are literally exactly what they have called their studio.
Yes. Well, like,
literally.
Even someone like Epic Games, like, people know Gears of War, but they may not know the Epic Games name.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's, I guess, the Coalition now, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else is big like that? I feel like Square Enix was for a really long time, but that name is sort of sullied by this point. They're getting back, but Final Fantasy 13 hurt them a lot.
Yeah, there's a nice easy one for you that begins with a B.
Bungie.
And also related to Destiny.
Blizzard.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel like between Blizzard and Valve, I feel like they almost don't put out enough stuff.
No, they don't, but then the second you hear that they're putting something out, everybody's in, and they've made $20 billion in stock market just because they've announced a new game.
They sneezed and it sounded like new game.
Yeah, and then you hear that the one-arm bandit pull thing, and it's like ding,
yeah,
all the money going into the bank accounts.
Man. T-Bomb Rocks ends up with 2 questions here. With Earthfall releasing on the 10th, it got me thinking, why do we not see more 4-player Left 4 Dead style games? Do you think that Evolve's less than stellar sales and overall reception hurt the genre?
I can tell you exactly why I think this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's because a developer has to be confident enough that number one, the audience will pick it up.
Yeah.
It will have an audience. But also, if Left 4 Dead is the prime example of this. Left 4 Dead in a single player game is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 are by yourself playing the game, incredible games. You put 3 other people in that, or in Left 4 Dead 2's versus mode, 4 other people in that. You put those numbers in there, and it goes from an incredible to, in my opinion, one of the greatest 2 games ever released. Yep. And that is all about the community. Like, I was lucky; I had 7 other people to play those games with for years, and it was fun every single time.
Yeah.
You've got to have a certain level of quality for that kind of asynchronous, that kind of co-op multiplayer to work as efficiently as it needs to. And if one thing is out of step, if one thing's out of place, then that can very quickly fall apart. Like Evolve, that fell apart because it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
The game looked beautiful. It played really well. I love the shooting. I love the controls. I love so much about that game. But there was just something off. And then the second, let's say, 10 people are playing it who regularly with each other, the second one drops off, it's not too long until another drops off.
Yeah, it just snowballs.
Another drops off, and then you've got nobody playing it, and then you run into trouble. And how much confidence do you have to have in your product to be able to do that?
Well, and I feel like it's unfortunate, and this isn't, of course, isn't T-Bomb Rocks' fault, but I feel like it's unfortunate that this genre isn't getting more coverage, because there are a ton of really great games in there other than Evolve being a failure. I don't feel like that's mean, and the Left 4 Dead duology of games being a massive success. Is we forget about stuff like Vermintide 1 and 2, which are incredible games that literally are the Left 4 Dead formula, and you have stuff like Killing Floor 2, which has been very quietly building a passionate community around basically the Left 4 Dead stuff, maybe without the multiplayer stuff.
And there's also there's that PlayStation game where you can get a cape and you drop down on a planet, and it's kind of a roguelike-y. I wish I could remember the name of it.
Oh god, yeah, what is that?
It's a top-down isometric shoot-'em-up where it's kind of roguelike, and I'm pretty sure that's a 4-player game as well.
Yeah, I don't remember what that's called.
And there's friendly fire, and you can kill people with the pods that you drop from the sky.
Oh god,
I'm good at remembering games. I'm just not good at remembering names.
It was free on PS Plus for a while. Yeah, I don't.
Yes, it was
something Crashers or something. I don't remember. But we're also forgetting about some of the maybe more famous failures, like Dead Space 2 tried to do that, and it had. But Dead Space 2, it had the multiplayer, it had the Left 4 Dead style multiplayer as well. But Dead Space 2 had an incredible multiplayer. It did.
That was so good.
That and Assassin's Creed, we will talk about for a long time about being like, no, it was actually really good. But I feel like that was the era of put a multiplayer mode in it. It's like, you don't need that. And I feel like when people saw Left 4 Dead plus Dead Space, they're like, yeah, of course. Good job, guys. You screwed up. And it's like, no, it's actually really fun. Okay.
Yep.
Everybody's gone. So... and then he asks, after playing through the demo of Octopath Traveler, it reminded me of how much I hate random battles. I would much rather see the enemies on the screen with the option to either run or fight. Have you ever had a system or character in an otherwise great game annoy you to the point you didn't want to play anymore?
No, because I am ridiculously stubborn.
I feel like this isn't my answer, maybe anymore, but I feel like for a lot of people this would be Tiny Tina.
Yeah,
I feel like that's sort of famous for like this character. I love this game, but this character sucks.
So overbearing. I mean, I'd like to say yes, but no. I am the Juggernaut. I will put my head down and I will run against that concrete wall until I make my way through it.
It's the British-Irish stubbornness where it's like, I spent money on this thing. I'm going to finish it.
Yep, exactly.
I bought this steak. It's going to make me sick. I'm going to eat all of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Out of random curiosity, so, speaking of random battles and things we don't like, I'm not a big fan of random battles, but if I say random battle to you, what's the two noises that immediately pop into your head? Just out of curiosity.
There's like whoop, whoop from like Final Fantasy,
okay,
and then the Chrono Trigger battle music.
For me, it's the Final Fantasy VIII glass shatter.
Yeah, God, that was such a good loading screen for that. Ah.
Yep. And it's the intro battle Pokemon music.
Yeah.
They're the two, because I deliberately didn't specify which sounds I was talking about, but you say random battles and people will immediately think of two things. The noise it makes when you get into a battle, and then the music. And for me, it's Final Fantasy VIII Glass Shatter, and then Pokemon. For you, it was...
God, that Glass Shatter.
It was so good, dude.
Yeah, I forgot how much... God, I love Final Fantasy VIII.
It also probably helped at the time that Stone Cold Steve Austin was a big deal at that time as well. So
this Pavlovian response.
Yeah. Oh, Stone Cold Steve. Wait, no, it's not. It's just a stupid cactus.
Yeah, I feel like I don't mind random battles as long as the encounter rate is fair.
Yes.
It's very easy to like mix that up even by like 2%. You know, you have to playtest the hell out of that just to make sure that it works okay. I feel like obviously if you can run in enemies, visible enemies on the playing field, and potentially avoid them or like slash them so they freeze and you can run away, that's obviously the best. But I feel like especially for Octopath Traveler, which thankfully comes out in like 2 weeks, I can't wait. I feel like that's very much we're making a modern 16-bit game, so of course it has random encounters. It's like that. I can respect that to a degree. Yeah. System or character, I feel like I'm not really pulling anything because in so many games nowadays, they're all kind of super similar. I think the only system I was disappointed by most recently is in God of War, the skill tree. A lot of stuff kind of didn't matter because I wasn't playing on the hardest difficulty. I was just playing on normal, so it's like I don't need to use all of these moves, and I don't need to use all these like different switching stances where it's like, you know, hit square and then pause for a second and then hit square 3 times and it does a different move, and it's like I'm just gonna hit square and triangle a lot. Yeah, because that kills the bad guys.
I mean, like it's gonna sound stupid now, but I bounced right off Elite Dangerous when I bought it. I started playing it, I played it for about maybe an hour or two, and then bounced straight off it. It's like, I need to come back when I've got time to learn these controls.
Yeah, sit down with a wiki and the subreddit.
2 years later, I started playing it, and 2 years later, I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I'm in. Yeah. Now I am gone.
Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
Well, Moon may never be done with Elite Dangerous, but unfortunately we're done with this episode.
Segue.
If you'd like to visit us, you can do so. I thought that was pretty good.
It was not bad. It was. You could see it coming from a mile away, though, to be completely honest.
I'll take it. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us. All the places you can find us. Follow us, including the Discord server on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon, patreon.com/e1m1. Go get the early access for ToeJam R.
Quick point here. For the record, by the way, that's E1M1. Is it numbers or letters?
Numbers.
We should clarify that.
Thank you. E1M1 with numbers. Or the link is on the right-hand side of the page as well.
There you go.
Get early access for ToeJam R and ODNF and DST and other acronyms that we may have on the show. And all the other cool behind-the-scenes stuff you get there. Patreon.com/E1M1. And Game Club, currently going on right now. We're playing Unravel. I started that and probably played about 20 minutes before I had to go do something else. So, didn't talk about that quite yet this week. We're running that for, I think it's like 3 more weeks. So you have
3 weeks because we got a bonus weekend.
That's right. So you have plenty of time to play that. Follow us, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Smashcast, the whole place. And
like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, that whole thing. Click the bell, the whole thing. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
I only have 3 titles because, the second one is just a shoo-in.
I don't even know what that title is. Then this is going to be interesting.
I think you also wrote it down. So,
okay, titles. This is how stupid I am. The Lumines, spelt in the English way.
Okay.
LOO for Lou, and then space, then mines.
I get it.
Because it sounds like you're doing disgusting work.
In the mines.
I'll have a good story about harvesters. An engine test that can stab you in the heart.
Yep.
And the smart one or the right one.
Yeah. I have Go Looking for Heat, Luis in the Library.
Oh god, that's actually kind of good.
The Lumines, and the one that I am voting for is Friendly Kamikaze. As soon as I wrote that one down, I was like, well, that's my winner for this week.
Oh, I'm torn between that and the smart one or the right one, because the smart one or the right one kind of sums us up perfectly as well.
Yeah, what was I saying?
We were talking about what edition of games to buy.
Right.
You spend 35 or
this isn't the smart one, but it's the right one.
This is the smart decision, but this is the right decision.
Right. Which one do you feel stronger about?
I feel stronger about the smart one or the right one, but Friendly Kamikaze is also kind of a TVGP title. Yeah,
that's maybe why I'm sort of leaning towards the smart one or the right one. It's the smart one or the right one, right?
Yes.
Okay, smart
because
one.
That 6-letter for 6-7 word phrase came up 4 times in 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right, I'll pick that one. We'll go for a second week in a row, maybe a little longer of a title. Last week's title is still one of my favorite ones. One of my new favorites.
I can't even remember what last week's one was.
I don't want to be here. I want to be in space.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's like a fine wine. They just get better after time.
Yeah, you go back and look at some of the old titles and they are classics.
Yeah. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 558 for July 2nd, 2018. The smart one or the right one?
The brain versus the wallet.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us and chatting. A bunch of people from Mixer joining us. Hope we see you back next week. Subscribe or whatever Mixer calls it. We'll be back the same time
I don't even know.
next week. They probably just call Mix It Up. And for some reason, I didn't drop a bunch of frames, so who the hell knows? And we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
And we can stop recording.